Did you know that 95% of our daily actions aren't conscious decisions at all? They're habits running on autopilot, which means most of us are basically sophisticated robots, following pre-programmed routines.
That's actually terrifying when you think about it. How much of what we do is really under our control?
Well, that's where the science gets fascinating. Our brains are essentially running on an operating system that can be reprogrammed, but not through willpower alone.
So all those times I've tried to force myself to change habits through sheer determination.
Exactly, you were using the wrong tool for the job. The research shows that every habit, from checking your phone to emotional eating, follows a three-part loop: cue, routine, reward.
But some habits feel completely automatic, like they're hardwired into our DNA.
Here's the thing. Charles Duhigg's research revealed that even the most ingrained habits can be altered. Take Alcoholics Anonymous. They've achieved a 40% success rate, not through willpower, but by helping people identify their specific habit triggers.
So it's more about understanding the system than fighting against it?
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. There's something called keystone habits that create a domino effect. When Alcoa's CEO Paul O'Neill focused solely on worker safety, their profits hit record highs and workplace accidents dropped by 50%.
Well, that's unexpected. How does changing one habit lead to such massive results?
It's like finding the master switch in your brain. Studies show that people who start making their beds every morning are 20% more likely to report better productivity in other areas of their lives.
That seems almost too simple to be true.
But that's exactly why it works. The research shows that starting with tiny, manageable changes like putting on workout shoes creates neural pathways that make bigger changes possible later.
You know, I've always wondered why my past attempts at changing habits never stuck.
The data is pretty clear on this. 40% of our daily actions aren't decisions at all, they're habits. And companies like Target have gotten so good at analyzing these patterns that they can predict customer behavior with 87% accuracy.
That's actually kind of unsettling. How deep does this pattern recognition go?
Well, Target's predictive analytics became so accurate, they could identify pregnant customers in their second trimester based on just 25 products they purchased, often before the women had told their families.
So our habits are basically writing our future without us even knowing it?
And that's why understanding the science is so crucial. The research shows that successful habit change isn't about motivation, it's about understanding and redirecting these automatic patterns.
So what's the actual process for rewiring these patterns?
The book outlines 4 critical steps. First, identify the problematic habit loop. Second, experiment with different rewards to understand what you're really craving. Third, isolate the cue. And fourth, create a new routine that delivers the same reward.
That sounds more like a scientific formula than the usual just try harder advice.
Because it is. Studies show that when people understand the mechanics of habit formation, their success rate in changing behaviors increases by 300%.
Well, that certainly puts a different spin on my failed New Year's resolutions.
And here's the kicker: belief plays a crucial role. When Starbucks implemented their habit training program for employees, customer satisfaction scores rose by 20%, but only after they added a component about believing in the possibility of change.
So it's really about rewiring our mental operating system rather than just downloading new apps, so to speak.
Exactly right. And the research backs this up. Studies show that people who understand their habit loops are 71% more likely to successfully change their behavior compared to those who rely on willpower alone.
This is actually making me feel more optimistic about changing some of my own habits.
And that optimism is justified by the data. When people approach habit change as a system rather than a test of character, their success rate triples. It's not about being stronger, it's about being smarter.
So maybe tonight I'll start by putting those running shoes by my bed.
That's exactly the right approach. Remember, research shows that small wins can double your odds of success in larger habit changes. It's not about the destination, it's about building the right systems to get there.